I'm getting to the point at this existence where more and more, a majority of experiences are mystical. It's not that the other world is taking over, it's that the real world is seeping in, settling in, leaking in, filling in. The entire lens and operating system has been swapped out. You don't usually see ducks playing in a current like this. It was just one male and one female, a little couple of young lovers taking turns diving and swimming in these gentle rapids here. That was a miracle to watch, to witness. I'm a witness with everything going on in the world and the fact that we are here for and with a purpose. And I feel a calling to do something to make the world better, not serve myself. I used to think the point of life was to put out art that people validated, and that would be how I got my worth individually. It's not about individuality anymore, it's about collective survival at this point. And I keep hearing, at least for now, you don't have to do anything, you just have to witness. Be a witness to what is happening. Go outside, talk to the trees, get away from the phone screen, the computer, the television, people and situations that distract you from what you're here to be doing. And the truth is, it's pretty much delusional to assume or expect that there's any way to actually stop this. The corporations and non sustainable systems that are steering our civilization straight into the rocks. An interesting thing about this time in history is how certain places, like here in the United States, you can go out in public or talk to people you know who are living as though nothing has changed ever and nothing will change. It's just a nice, cozy bubble. This whole thing's a big bubble. When's it gonna pop, you know? Maybe that says something about being able to choose your own reality within the parameters that you have been born into or have set your life up into. I believe they can always be changed. I don't know. I was going to say you can't go to a different country in a completely different culture and society. It is possible. It truly is possible. Thinking like in terms of can or can't, that's about as silly as thinking in terms of right or left politically. Babe, we are way past that. The people who are still stuck in the debating, the protesting, the reacting, that's missing the point. I'm not even saying I know the point. I'm at the point where I both do and do not believe everything. All the ancient sacred texts, all the conspiracy theories, I can't stand calling them conspiracy theories. It's a category that describes something, but everything with aliens and the government and history and reality itself. Some things, it's not that I don't believe in them. How do I say it? Because, like, you think of certain religions, I believe them and I don't believe them. I just believe them with a different translating or decoding. They mean something different to me than they might mean to a lot of other people. I see them for the truths that they don't disclose directly. I see them for what they're saying in code, basically. You'll never be able to read all the books, and you'll only be able to get through so many. And I don't think you'll ever find the answer in them. You'll just find more to work with as you find the answers interacting with the real world. And you balance interacting with reading and learning, studying, due diligence. But man, there's a lot to get through, huh? It was exciting though when I was first starting to collect all the books, both physically and digitally, that I have. I really thought that I was gathering what I needed to complete the puzzle, which is true, just as everything is and isn't true. There are things that I did need in order to be able to put it all together, but there's so much more that you need. that's outside of books, outside of screens. It's just go outside and you will be guided every time. This bubble's crazy though. I have boomer grandparents who aren't rich, but they can afford anything they want and more. So I guess I call that rich. But they're just what was used to be considered the middle class, or even maybe upper middle class now. I feel like rich is when their family doesn't have to worry. Like if they were really rich, then I would be rich. As bad as that is, like you would know that I was rich because everyone I loved was rich too. But aren't we already? I feel rich. The difference is what stuff you have. There's no difference in who I am now and who I will be once I get the things that I need money for. I mean, that's the first step in manifesting. Live in that other timeline so that reality catches up to you. Live as though you already have everything that you want. No hesitation, no doubt. Anyway, my grandparents are traveling in a week or two, in like the first week of April. They're flying over to Europe. They have no worries about it because they're white and they have money and they're old. They can afford to not speak up in ways that will get them in trouble. They can afford to stay off the radar by being able to just swipe a card or give their name and be escorted through every gate and every border comfortably. And there's no moral dilemma or spiritual journey about it. It's just pure tourism for the sake of vacation. That sort of privilege sickens me. It really does. The belief and behavior that ignorance is bliss, and that the world's suffering has nothing to do with me, or why should I give up any of my luxuries? It's a sense of entitlement and deserving. When the world's suffering is your suffering, it's hard to just have a good day. And when you know where things are headed, where this is all going, within a few years, how different things are going to be. It's the people who don't have to worry about the future, having so much power over and participation in it now. That's a problem. We all know it. It's just such a doomed model for broken old people to be in charge of the world that they won't be around for, the consequences that they won't be alive to see. That's absurd. And maybe if they were all wise elders who we could trust with the survival of our tribe as humanity. But no, the monsters have taken over the council. A month or two ago, I said that The Dark Crystal was a documentary. And that's what I'm thinking about, just how darkness has taken over. It can't beat the light, though. It cannot beat the light. That's just, at the end of the day, that's the truth. It does require selfless sacrifice and service to what is sacred. Sign me up. I'm ready. Put me in. In this world, but not of it. Since I'm no longer attached to anything from the past, physical or non-physical, I am completely available for the future, for the present. Whoa! I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm in it right now. This is it. This is nice. The future is nice. Oh! Teleportation isn't real. Get out of my shit. This is amazing. It is like when psychedelics kick in and flood the senses and perception and alter reality entirely. Just the swapping of the lens, the new filter of programming. And suddenly everything is breathing and interacting with your soul. Your skull is not a barrier, but a conduit or capacitor. Wow. Everything in my entire life, it all led up to this, went through all those days to get to this one. How lucky. Hallelujah, hallelujah. How amazing, how beautiful that all these things grew, are still growing or dying, but how interwoven, braided and tangled together as an ecosystem. Not only symbiotic, but divinely Oh, ooh, I forgot this was like a. I tried to set up an offline AI chat on my 2013 MacBook, and it's too old. Nothing will run on my current operating system, but it's impossible to upgrade it. And one of the worst symptoms of capitalism and materialism is planned obsolescence. How products are designed to become trash and replaced in such short amounts of time. Sometimes it happens in like 3 years, right? And they're not built to be recycled. They're built to just be thrown away. And I'm generalizing, of course, but. And so it got me thinking about the concept of planned obsolescence and how that is now being applied to human beings. Our environments are designed to limit our lifetimes by less and less, knocking us out early if it can. Lots of wild cards in that department. But even if you live a long, safe life, you're not making it past 90, most of us. We definitely don't expect to see a century of birthdays. That's just crazy. So we know we're gonna die. And yet, we still cling on to this silly way of wasting this supreme blessing of being here. We are in the game. We are on the ground. Cosmic spirits anchored by bodies. For a short time, and then we'll be returned to wherever it is from which we came. And I don't think that's right. Especially with the introduction of robots and autonomous cyber minds. When are the computers going to start having their own lives and personalities? We truly are in the last of the olden days, before that futuristic dystopia finally takes over, and nothing is ever the same. I think a lot about the national parks and protected ecosystems and nature and wildlife in the world, of course, but certainly in the United States. How that has always been something that I thought we all agreed on, that we don't let private companies take over the destruction of untouched lands and pristine parks, places that we put so much into preserving so far. I thought we all agreed that we don't let anyone destroy that for profit. And yet, at this point, we've lost so much of the earth to men and their machines and their greed. But we live in a world where these places still are everywhere. If you know where to find them, I guess. I live in a place where there are so many spots to explore and hide and be with everything. Grounding, retuning to Mother Nature's frequency, simultaneously sending out and receiving the most beautiful charges of electricity and magnetism, languageless information. Shit, the world is burning and I'm out here dancing in the sunshine. What do you do to save the people, animals, places that are being destroyed or damaged because of things that are in motion and so big? How could one little person, one little soul, no matter how many others it can connect with, how do we really do something about the fact that it's not about left versus right or anything like that? It is truly about the billionaires versus the billions. They have billions, we are billions. You know? I think there's something to that. And especially when you tally up which side has more love and light, evil weighs a lot more. And in this case, that is not a good thing for them. We shall overcome together. Only together shall we overcome. Oh, these little plants are so drippy. You all look like psychedelic art.